Time to move our attention to the T20Is then between England and India. Let's focus on the first one at Southampton. Unique series this. T20I series starts just a couple of days after the tests, and we've got back-to-back T20Is to close it out over the weekend. Wasim Jaffer and Ashley Giles with me on ESPN Cricinfo T20 Timeout. Let's start with teams, shall we? That's all that we really have on our minds. What sort of 11 would either team want to put out, and what are the areas that either team would want to try and cover as more and more bilateral series come our way ahead of the T20 World Cup in Australia? Let's bring up the Indian team first up and ask Wasim Jaffer what kind of changes we'd like to see. There are a good couple of games in Ireland where Deepak Hooda shined, Wasim. Now, the players marked in yellow are the ones that are only going to be playing the first T20I. The squad changes, like so Virat Kohli, Ravindra Jadeja, Jasprit Bumrah, all part of the team for the second and third T20I. Now, you've seen Sanju Samson get an opportunity, Wasim, there. Tripathi is yet to be capped. Arshdeep Singh's been carried around as a sub for a while now. Who are the players you'd like to see in this first game?
Well, I think Rohit Sharma might, open. He's obviously coming back into the side, so Ishan Kishan probably will partner him because I think he had a very good, series recently. Looked in great touch. Deepak Hooda, Surya Kumar Yadav probably to follow. Hardik Pandya and Dinesh Karthik to follow, and you've got Harshal Patel and Bhuvneshwar Kumar. I think India would want to play the players they have in mind for that T20 World Cup.
I mean, this is a unique series, isn't it, Ashley, where you'll have the big boys already and available for the T20. As normally India play all these players, and we are tempted with the idea of multiple squads playing at different times, and India having maybe three squads that could beat international teams. I'm not sure it's a problem that the selectors welcome often when they have so many options to choose from. This is a big series, you think, though, given that India's first team has the chance to play together, which doesn't happen very often?
Yeah, I think this is. I think this is a big series in many ways. It's an opportunity for two of the big sides of T20 cricket in the world, and two countries that have almost now got an overproduction of white ball cricketers. They're just producing them out of the woodwork, which is great to see. See them go head to head. England will be missing for the T20s a couple of their big players, Bairstow, Stokes, for example, and India for the first match. But everyone will now be looking towards that next World Cup in Australia, the T20 World Cup, and doing their planning, trying to sort their squads, their first teams out for that tournament.
Let's bring up the England squad, have a look at that as well. They, like Ashley Giles has mentioned, they are going to be missing some key players. No Johnny Bairstow and Ben Stokes. They've earned a bit of a rest with the extraordinary test cricket that's been played over the summer. But just looking at this white ball team, it's always a completely different bowling attack, Ashley. What are the areas you'd like to see England cover here? They seem to get a lot right with the bat. Of course, this is an era post Owen Morgan now. But what are the areas you'd like to see covered against a strong Indian team?
Well, yeah, and one of the other big absentees from this team is Adil Rashid, who has been such an important part of England's white ball teams for a long time now. He was always the go-to man for Owen Morgan, and I'm sure he will be for Josh Buttler. He can't have him in this series, but I would say, well, this is a great opportunity to see someone like Matt Parkinson against some of the best T20 players in the world, and players who are very adept at playing spin in this format. So it will be a real challenge for him. I'd like to see someone like Harry Brook play, who's building a really good reputation now as a middle order player in T20 cricket particularly. And I'd like him to get a run at some point.
Hard to call a favourite before a T20I bilateral series, but if you had to pick one, India have been in pretty good white ball form too. All their big players are back. Wasim, India favourites or England in their own backyard?
I think India would go down as favourites in my opinion. But the England batting is very aggressive, very on their day they can destroy any bowling attack. The bowling looks a little weaker compared to their batting, but I would say India looks a little bit favourite because they've got some T20 cricket behind him. Behind all of them. So I would say India favourites at the moment.
Ashley?
Yeah, well, I'd have to agree. I don't like to agree with that, but I'd have to, particularly with Rashid and Bairstow missing, with two such big players, and the way India play spin in this format anyway. So, that will put pressure on some of those less experienced bowlers in the team. And it should be a great series. Can't wait.